This is a video for James and Ollie Ball from Milton and Wychwood to show them how we go about catching a kakapo. So we're on codfish or whenua hope, and this is Errol, the Kakapo Ranger, and we're off to find Ralph. These are some kaka, which are flying parrots and live in the forest, and because it's the middle of the day they're just having a wander around in a preen, not doing terribly much and being surprisingly quiet. So we can see that kakapo will be making their bowls here with all the moss is plucked out of the ground. And his main bowl is just over here. You can see a big hole in the ground there he sits in all night and booms from. Magnificent. So tell us about it, Errol.
This is the largest patch of the Easter orchid, rawpecker it's called. And we all love walking through here because it's got that really sweet jasmine type smell.
Yeah, pretty awesome.
Sensational.
Yep, it's a shame smell-o-vision doesn't work yet, because these little fellas smell beautiful. So all the kakapo carry little radio transmitters so that they can be found to be looked after, because there are so few of them. Every individual is very precious. So Errol's just popping the antennae onto the receiver, and he's going to have a listen to the right frequency for Ralph to see if he's in the near vicinity.
Not yet.
So what we're having our sandwiches, I'll explain to you why the kakapo are here on Codfish Island and nowhere else. And that's because New Zealand has been isolated from most of the rest of the world for about 80 million years. And so all of these birds and lizards and insects in New Zealand evolved without the presence of mammalian predators like rats and cats and stoats and weasels. But when man arrived about 700 years ago, he brought rats with him and dogs, and then when Europeans arrived about 150 years ago, they brought weasels and stoats and hedgehogs and cats and so on. And on the mainland of New Zealand now, those animals, those predators have wiped out most of the native birds. But on little islands like Codfish, we were able to remove those predators, trap and poison them and get them out of the way. Then those native birds that are really susceptible, like the kakapo, can start to recover and survive. So that's what we're hopefully going to go and see today. Not going to fly off now, is it?
Right, fly?
Yeah.
That doesn't look normal.
Oh, don't worry. fantail. Come to have a look at us. He's gone. So we think that he's in this area here somewhere, but there's a cliff on the other side. So I'm going to head off down over this side here, down over there, and hopefully we can get underneath him so that he runs uphill, if he runs anyway, because we don't want him running down over the cliff. So now we know he's between me and Errol over there, in the bush somewhere here, probably in this flank. Working? Yeah. Yeah, so there's Ralph. And he was in the flax bush just where we thought he was. So now Errol's going to put a new transmitter on him and we'll give him a little health check before we let him go back to his normal routine. Okay. So he's just been weighed and now we can let him go. Here he goes. Got his new transmitter. And you can see why Kakapo are so vulnerable to predators, because Ralph has run literally a few meters from where Errol and I just processed him there. And he's run down underneath this tree. And can you see him sitting in the ferns just there? There he is. So this is the transmitter that we just replaced. This is Ralph's old one, and so this sits on his back like a little rucksack with the loops of string going over each wing, and this sends out a little radio signal that we're able to find with the transmitters, with the receivers rather, that you saw. So yeah, so he's got a new one of those now that'll last another 6 months. There's Errol getting the notes written down. So there's Ralph sitting in the ferns just below where we released him. And that's how they hide from predators. Rather than running away, they just sit very still and hope that they don't get seen. So when they're hunted by animals that can hunt with a sense of smell, like most mammals, they're very easy to find because they can sniff them out. Because kakapo actually have a lovely smell because of all the lovely fruits and seeds and roots that they eat.